Today, Alex is making a goat horn farm. Goat horns are a fun item in the game, which have 8 unique sounds that you can collect. Alex begins by digging out a hole that is 12 by 9 blocks and 6 blocks deep. He builds a platform for a minecart collection system using solid blocks, redstone blocks to power rails, hoppers to collect the items from the hopper minecart, and of course, rails. First, he adds more droppers facing upwards from the ground to connect to the wool collection droppers, which he made in a previous episode. The hoppers from the platform are fed to the dropper elevator. An observer clock ensures the items are pushed upwards. Levers on the solid blocks at the end of the hopper minecart line will power the rails at each end. Once the rail is added, a hopper minecart is placed on the rail. The collection mechanism is built. Alex covers the area with solid blocks, where the goats will drop their horns for the hopper minecart to collect. On this platform, Alex adds 2 layers of glass blocks. Note the note block, which Alex adds to the first layer of glass. Alex adds a ladder. In one corner of the area, Alex adds crimson trapdoors as presented here. He adds a boat in the corner, and using eggs from his egg farm, brings a chicken to the boat. Alex adds the second layer of glass. Note the positions of the dispensers and observer on the second layer. Both dispensers are filled with a bucket of lava, and buttons are placed on the dispensers. Both dispensers face into the goat horn collection chamber. Alex adds stone blocks over the crimson trapdoors. It's important that these are stone blocks, as they will break the horns of the goat when they attempt to ram the chicken in the boat. Alex covers the area with grass, leaving a trapdoor so he can go down to the goat horn collection chamber later. He leaves a single block open, where the goat will be pushed by water flows down to the goat horn collection area. Finally, he adds an upward-facing dispenser over the observer, which he fills with a bucket of water. Next, Alex must create a holding area for 2 breeding goats and for the babies until they grow into adults. Using an assortment of oak logs, planks, barrels, spruce logs, fence and fence gates, Alex constructs the holding area. As goats can jump very high, they must be contained in an area with a roof. Note that Alex adds a closed fence gate over the open hole and a lever on the opposite side of the oak log, so he can open and close the fence gate with the lever. Once the covered holding area for the breeding goats and baby goats is completed, it's time for Alex to go in search of goats. The best place to find them is at the top of mountains. So using his elytra, Alex flies to a nearby mountain. Goats are tricky to collect. They enjoy randomly attacking other mobs, including players, and they can jump very high. Alex tries to grab one with a lead and attempts to trap one in a boat. He is successful and gets 2 goats in a boat instead. He will keep them in the boat and return to bring one of them back to his base later. He goes in search of another goat and eventually finds one. Using a lead, he brings the goat to the top of the mountain, places a boat, and pulls the goat into the boat. Once trapped, Alex gets in the boat and rows off the top of the mountain. This is effective because the player and mob will not take fall damage when they fall in the boat, so Alex can go down from the mountain without worrying about harming himself or the goat. He navigates to a river and heads home. Once home, Alex takes the goat, using the lead to the goat enclosure. He attaches the lead to the fence next to the dispenser. As this will be a breeding goat, it is very important that the goat is attached with a lead to this fence post. Later, when Alex activates the water flows in the dispenser, he will want this goat to remain in the enclosure and not go down to the lower chamber with the adult offspring. He repeats the process a second time with a second goat. Once the two breeding goats are in place and attached with a lead to the fence post, Alex can begin using the farm. He feeds wheat to the two goats, and they immediately breed a baby goat. Alex closes the fence gate, which must remain closed until the baby goat becomes an adult. Now that the goat horn farm is completed, and while he waits for the baby goat to grow up, Alex builds an enclosure around the farm animals he has collected in this and previous episodes. He is building the barn layer by layer in case you would like to follow along and build the barn. You can pause the video at any time. There are two kinds of goats. The normal ones, which Alex has collected, have goat horns, which will yield one of 4 horn sounds. Both horns on the same goat will yield the same sound, and the sounds from a horn are randomly assigned by the game. The second kind of goat is very rare, and 2% of the time, the offspring of normal goats can be this variety. They are called screaming goats, mainly because of the unusual noise they make when they call out. Alex will attempt to obtain 2 of these, as when 2 screaming goats are bred, they will always have screaming goat offspring. The screaming goats also have horns which make 4 different kinds of sounds, and because they are rare, these horns are very valuable. Alex will need to breed many goats, however, before he obtains a screaming goat, but he will always check the adult offspring to see if they scream, so he can collect 2 of these special goats. When he has them, he will have 4 breeding goats, so he can obtain all the horns in the game. barn is complete. There is even space at the side for Alex's horses and donkey. Now that the offspring goat is an adult, Alex collects his first goat horn. He opens the fence gate with the lever, and he right-clicks the note block to trigger water flows in the breeding area. This pushes the adult offspring into the lower chamber, while the two breeding goats connected to the fence with a lead remain in the upper chamber for continued breeding. Once the offspring has gone below, Alex turns off the water flows by right-clicking the note block a second time. He then closes the fence gate with the lever. The adult offspring will wander in the lower chamber and will eventually see the chicken and decide to attack it. It will end up head-butting the stone, causing one of his goat horns to break off. The goat horn is then picked up by the hopper minecart below and delivered to the barrel at the surface for Alex to collect. Eventually, the goat will attack the chicken again, losing its second goat horn. Once both goat horns are collected, Alex will incinerate the goat using the lava-filled dispensers in the lower chamber. The lava will kill the goat, but not reach the chicken. This goat has dropped 2 goat horns that play the sing melody. Alex tries out the goat horn. How delightful! Join Alex at Noob Friendly and make your own goat horn farm.